Yo, what's poppin' everybody? This is Cerebral Final 4, and today I'm gonna show you guys a Rillaboom deck. Rillaboom, as soon as it was revealed, we knew it was a good card because Voltage Beat lets you get 2 grass energies from your deck and you can attach them to any Pokemon. So obviously, excellent energy acceleration from the deck no less, and you don't have to only use grass Pokemon, you can attach them anywhere. So definitely a good card. This guy also has good HP, for the standards of today, 170. Hammer in, you could say it's a little on the low side, doing 140 for 4. But since you can, instantly power himself up with his own ability too, it's kind of not so costly as it appears. It's decent damage that can do some huge chunks if we have to use this Pokemon in an emergency or depending on the game state. Now, normally this Pokemon, you would run it with Rillaboom VMAX and Rillaboom V. They kind of go together. They designed them to go together. But since I don't have those guys, and since they do have some sort of disadvantages to run these cards as opposed to the cards that I have right here, we're going with a sort of a toolbox variation here. Instead, trying to favor Dhelmise V here. This is actually a pretty underrated Pokemon in my opinion. It's a regular V Pokemon with 220 HP, so good HP to last in the game. Giga Hammer does 200 for 3, so that's a respectable huge chunk of damage. You won't be able to use this attack next turn, but it doesn't really matter. We can just switch and use a different attacker. And Anchor Anger is what really makes this card pretty good. This sort of revenge attack. You can start doing 30 for 1 if you open with it, which is solid enough, as you're trying to set up. Doing a little bit of damage and putting pressure. But a 1 for 20 revenge attack is pretty handy. It means that if you didn't get Rillaboom out yet, or you're struggling to set up, at least if your opponent is getting KOs and beating you down, you can use this attack and do 1 for 20 to sort of give you a little bit of a fight. It's a nice revenge attack, 1 for 20. I think a lot of people don't really understand. It's sort of underestimate that it's a really good attack. So I've got 2 of this guy here. Now, it isn't exactly a Dhelmise deck because I have a bunch of other Pokemon too. It's not Dhelmise Rillaboom. We've got the Rowlet Alolan Exeggutor. I've got one of these. This is sort of a support and attacking Pokemon in this deck. It makes sense since we're running Rillaboom as stage 2 to run at least one of these guys. I don't want to over rely on him. We do have the rare candies to evolve, the typical way to a stage 2, but if you can open with him or just get him in the active position, Super Growth is useful to help you get your stage 2 out quick. The problem with this dude with Super Growth, at least from what I understand how the ruling is, if let's say you play second and you play the Grookey down, you can't evolve into them instantly. Maybe it's a glitch, maybe I'm missing something, but from my experience, this happened a few times. I just couldn't evolve. I mean, it's still useful to evolve later on, but it is what it is. I guess you have to play the Pokemon down and a turn needs to pass. Now, this is a decent Tag Team GX, of course, 270 HP. Common Hurricane does a very good chunk, 150, and the 30 that you heal, it's like you're doing 180 between the damage you deal and heal, so it's pretty good. But I really wanted to make use of a good GX attack, and Tropical Hour is that attack. It's not difficult to get 6 energies on this Pokemon once we get a few of the Rillabooms out. And shuffling back all of your opponent's energies into the deck, removing all of their energies like this, can be pretty game breaking. So we're taking advantage of this guy. You could easily put something like Celebi Venusaur GX or Buzzwole Ferromosa, but I feel like this guy is just the most versatile of the 2. You got the Super Growth, Comet Hurricane, and Tropical Hour. All of them are weak to fire. This guy has the same HP as Venusaur. I feel like this guy is the better of the 3 if you're going to run a Tag Team GX in this deck. Now, we have a few not regular, but colorless V Pokemon here. I've got Double V. This is a very good Pokemon with soft wool. It makes for a very good tank. I mean, already pretty good, 210 HP, minus 30. This guy will usually be able to take a few hits. And Revenge Blast is just excellent mid to late game. If your opponent gets a few prizes, you can do a lot of damage. Use any energies to power up. So in my opinion, this card is just a great asset in energy acceleration decks like this one, where you can just slap energies like easily once you get your abilities out. So I got one of these, and I have a Cramorant V as my sniper. I debated to put Eevee and Snorlax Tag Team GX as opposed to Cramorant V. You know, Snorlax is good, it can do 240 to VMAX Pokemon, but then, you know, this guy has Beak Catch. It's a regular V Pokemon, so there's a lot less risk. A little bit of variation with the weakness too, weakness to lightning and resistant fighting. So, you know, it is what it is. You don't exactly want to be dumping, discarding energies and using Spit Shot all day, but it can come up. I mean, for just, you know, 70 HP more and give that third prize, I feel like maybe Snorlax isn't the right choice, but you can run it if you want. This guy is a sniper, so yeah. For the last regular grass Pokemon, I've got just a regular Furamasa here. Now, this deck is really flexible. There's a lot of different basic grass Pokemon you can run. You can try and make use of the Shaman Prism if you want. You can put in Celestial Storm, Dhelmise, a bunch of other Pokemon. But since I've got Rillaboom 2 is just really effective to use 140 for 4. If we go up against like Keldeo GX or Pokemon that are immune to our basics and Vs and GXs, I can use this guy too. So I didn't really want to waste a lot of space with extra regular grass Pokemon. You do have some options, but we're good to go with the Rillaboom. So just one Furamasa. I like this card because it has Free Retreat, so it's pretty good. Nice opening Pokemon. And if we're winning and we're down to one prize, White Ray is very useful. 180 for 3. So all around, very solid grass Pokemon. It's my choice as a regular here. But you can put Shaman Prism if you want. You can put something else if you want. Okay. And for the last two Pokemon, we've got Eldegoss V. Eldegoss, of course, we run this for Happy Match. Via Seeker on foot. Float Up can also be useful. Put it back in the deck. And because it's a grass Pokemon, we can actually make some more use of it and get some extra utility in this deck, which you will soon see. And the Dedenne GX for the final support Pokemon. Obviously, this guy, dump and draw 6. Really good. Pretty much a staple. You gotta run it in decks like these. So, run at least one. Okay, so simple Pokemon line. I forgot to mention the Rillaboom is going to be 3. 4 Grookey, obviously you max this out. And 1 Thwackey. You have a choice between this one with the taunt and another one that has a better second attack. To be honest, I kind of like the other one maybe a bit better. I like the fact that I can do some more reliable damage with his attack. This one does double hit, which is a coin flip. It's not really effective, but this guy has taunt. You can pull a Pokemon from your opponent's bench, switch it with the active Pokemon, and you get to choose. So I feel like it's just too good to pass up. If there's ever that emergency, that very special occasion, you don't really want to attack with a Pokemon like this anyway. Both of them have 100 HP. I think both of them have 2 retreat. I could be wrong about that, but I think both of them have the same stats. It's just this guy has taunt. Okay, now for the trainers. Now, since this is a grass deck, the great thing about this deck is that on top of the Quick Ball, we can actually run a Netball in this deck. This is just an amazing card. We are going to lose it after Lost Thunder rotates out, but it is what it is. You can search your deck for a basic grass Pokemon or an energy, grass energy, and put it into your hand. So this is like a Cherish Ball. You get basic grass Pokemon into the hand. No discards, no conditions, very, very easily. It's great. We can search basic Pokemon too, not just Vs or GXs. We can get the small guy down very effectively. We can get any of the other grass Pokemon like Dhelmise, Eldegoss, this is amazing, and the other guys. So very, very good. And since it's a 2 effect on 1 card, I don't have to actually waste some space and use like an energy spinner. I can just max this dude out, max this card, and it can be both a basic fetcher and an energy search card. So it's amazing. Really helps this deck out a lot. We still are going to run a maximum playset of Quick Ball. I did think about maybe just putting 3 of these and putting a Cherish Ball in, and we do have 2 targets. We have Rowlet and Dedenne, and if you put Snorlax in, you've got 3, so You can definitely construct this deck kind of differently, and you run it a bit differently, but I just decided to go quick ball. I mean, we can get Eldegoss with this, you can get any Pokemon, you can get Grookey too. It's just, the discarding doesn't matter too much, I suppose, in a deck like this. We are going to dub a few things, but it's not too big of a prize. Got some other, consistency cards like the Evolution and Sense. This is going to be our way to get Rillaboom into the deck. I wish we had some more effective way, like to just search, grass Pokemon in general, even stage 2s, but this is the best card. It's going to work in this deck. I've got 3 targets. We do have another card that I'm going to show you guys later, but it should be good enough. I've got some typical recovery cards. I've got the 1 Ordinary Rod. I've got the 2 switches. I've got double Tool Scrapper. Obviously, you need to have your 4 rare candies to get your stage 2. And I've got, well, let's not go down here yet. Got a bit of energy recovery too. Now, this is one of the very rare occasions that it makes sense for me to use energy recycle system. So most people would run the energy recycler, I think it's called, that you shuffle up to 5 energies back in the deck. This can shuffle up to 3, but it also gives us the opportunity to put a basic energy from the discard pile into the hand. So it's like a mini energy retrieval, and you never know when this sort of effect might be handy. Like in a sort of desperate situation, you just want to get an energy into your hand and just make a manual attachment. This can be pretty good. I haven't really encountered any problems with running out of energies. I mean, sometimes it does get close, and you do have to be careful. Once you attach those energies, you can't really get them back on the Pokemon. But 1 energy recycle system and the Ordinary Rod that can also put in basic energies in the deck, I think they're going to be good enough. It's not like we discard energies when we attack, except for Cramorant V. So I think these cards should be good enough. The deck has been working out fine so far. Now, the stadiums, you obviously got to run the Life Forest in this deck. It's just an obvious card. Prism Stadium, also going to leave with Lost Hunter, but the extra healing it can give us is very good. I did think about maybe putting some other healing cards in this deck, like Grass works well with healing. It's grass. I could use like a Gardenia or some other cards, but it would mess up your consistency. You have to sacrifice consistency. So I just decided to just keep the Life Forest, and that's it. This is a stadium. It's not a supporter or anything else, so it's a counter stadium. So that's why it works out. It has a little bit of a synergy with this guy's attack too, so good enough. And then the other stadium is going to be this new Turffield Stadium is the name. Once turning player's turn, you can grab an evolution grass Pokemon and put it into your hand. So this is another method to search out Rillaboom or Thwachi into the hand. Very good. Now, I'm usually very conservative with my stadiums, and it works out well with this card. You're just going to play it down when you know you're going to get that search at the very least. And then if they get rid of it, they get rid of it. You got the search. So it's just a nice card in this deck. 2 stadiums. And then the last thing are the supporters. We've got the ever useful 4 Cynthia here playset. Got to run it as long as we have it. I got the 1 Eragus Hospitality. Very nice. Actually kind of makes sort of a sense in this archetype too, since she's a grass type gym leader. Doesn't do anything with grass Pokemon, but it's a nice little bonus, I guess, a nice little touch. So 1 of her. Got double Marnie for a sort of a N disruption supporter. Decent draw. Double Magnolia. You don't want to go overboard with discarding, but this can be kind of useful, of course. 1 Skyla, and then 1 Boss's Orders for our pull-in supporter. Naturally, you can use Eldegoss V to reuse Boss's Orders at a crucial time, and any other supporter. So good stuff. And for the energies, just 12 grass energies should be good enough. So this is the deck, guys. Obviously, some of your big problems are going to be fire, which is why I sort of made it sort of a toolbox. You got some other attackers besides grass Pokemon weak to fire. You've got double V and Cramorant to give you a little bit of variety. It would have been nice if they made, like, let's say, Rowlet Executor be weak to something else, like, I don't know, weak to lightning. That's not good, but maybe just some other weakness, like maybe weak to fighting. Like it's weak to, not fighting, but what's it called? I forgot. Like weak to a different type, like weak to psychic, yeah. Like you're weak to ghost, let's say. Since both of these guys will be weak to ghost if he was a stage 2. But doesn't matter, weak to fire, it is what it is, we're going to put up with it. And this is the deck, guys. To be honest, I recorded this deck video yesterday, but there was a problem with the static, so I'm basically redoing it again. Hopefully there's no problems. It was hella annoying. I was going to show you guys this and matches yesterday, but what can you do? But this is the deck. With Rillaboom VMAX, you do, I think, 270 or 280, and you do get some more one-hit knockouts, but that guy's a stage 2, so your deck is going to be slower. You're going to have less space. Plus, you discard energies. Plus, doing 280 or 270, it's still in that range where a lot of Pokemon survive, especially if it's 270. There's a lot of Tag Team GXs that will survive. Obviously, VMAX Pokemon will survive. So if you're going to get 2-hit knockouts anyway, you might as well use this guy and do 200. This guy is has much less risk, being a regular V Pokemon, and I just feel like this deck has merits. This sort of way I built it has merits over just using Rillaboom VMAX too. But that's another version. So I'm going to show you guys matches next, of course. Hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Hope you guys subscribe, leave a like, share this video with your friends, and thank you guys for watching as always. Cerebral Final 4, what's say?